Introducing your hosts, Sam Gotze and Tanner Dislin. Welcome to Crunch Time with the N326 Duo.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 227. I'm your host, Sam Gotze, and with me today, as always, is Tanner Dislin. Tanner, how you feeling?
Sam, it's been quite the week. Obviously, the trade deadline in baseball, one of the major news in sports over the past week. And obviously, of course, if it's news in baseball, it seems like one team is going to benefit. And, seems like that may have happened regarding this deadline as well. And the Los Angeles Dodgers just keep getting better.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, the big news dropped on August 1st with a massive trade to the Dodgers from the Tigers. We'll touch on that in a little bit, but we got, of course, MLB Trade Deadline dominating this episode. We talked about that and so much more on episode 227. You kind of gave us a hint, Tanner, but let's talk about it in depth. Tarik Skubal heading to the Dodgers in exchange for outfielder Zaire Hope, right-handed pitcher River Ryan, and another right-handed pitcher for Brady Smith. Now, obviously, you know a little more about how teams are shaping up. Like, it seems, I know when this got announced, I was talking to you, it seemed the Dodgers just keep getting the Infinity Stones from Thanos' gauntlet.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what's happening. Like, I think my quote was, I don't know if Dr. Doom can stop the Dodgers right now. This is insane. How good they are. Obviously, this is we got news last week that Ohtani might not be pitching as much due to an injury down the stretch. So they lose Ohtani on the mound. He's still going to hit, but it doesn't matter. They have I know guys have been kind of in and out with injuries, but a healthy rotation of now Tarik Skubal. We'll take Ohtani out because he's confirmed to not really be pitching much the rest of the season. But like Tyler Glasnow, Blake Snell, these guys are like Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Justin Robleski, who was an all-star, by the way. Justin Robleski was, and he's the fifth starter I'm naming. And then you also have Roki Sasaki and all these other guys, and that's even with Ohtani out. Like, it's crazy how good this team is, and I think the entire baseball world let out the same collective sigh when it happened, and it's so frustrating from a baseball fan standpoint. I mean, I get, like, that obviously I'm a Mets fan. Mets and Dodgers don't really get along, but like from a baseball standpoint, it's the league has never been less appealing, I think, to the average viewer, just because it's a foregone conclusion. And now, for 2 years straight, by the way, the major awards and the World Series have been won by the same people in the same team. And they've happened to coincide with the biggest markets. And I don't know if that's a coincidence or not. And 2 years ago, Ohtani and Judge were MVPs. Last year, Ohtani and Judge were MVPs, and both times the Dodgers won. So, what's there to watch at this point? A foregone conclusion? Like, that's really frustrating from a neutral fan's perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. So there has been a report that came out that the Dodgers now have over $1 billion deferred payroll. Now, my question to you, playing a little devil's advocate, I got a couple questions, but one, why doesn't every team just spend money and say, F it, let's win now? Like, why does it seem to only be the Dodgers?
Yeah, so the thing with the Dodgers is they by far have the most lucrative TV deal because MLB is such a regional um it's such a regional sport. Like, NFL, you're every game's on Fox, like or CBS, or if it's on national, sometimes it's on the other ones. But most of the games are on Fox and CBS. They pool that money depending on where you are. You can see which games, but like it's all under one umbrella. Well, now in baseball, you have so many different media companies and telecasts for
Yeah.
each one. The Dodgers have the most lucrative one. They make the most money off their TV package they have because they have obviously in Los Angeles they have a lot of people watching, and it's more valuable to whatever Comcast LA than it is to Bally Sports Kansas City or
Yeah.
whatever Kansas City's watching.
Marquee. Yeah.
Marquee, exactly. LA has the most lucrative TV deal in sports, or in baseball, so they get a ton of money from that, and because of that, and obviously the owner of the Los Angeles Dodgers, one of the richest, which is not quite as rich as the Mets owner, which is they're a whole other can of worms that we can get into, but they have a ton of money in their ownership. They have a ton of money coming in from revenues via TV deals. They also happen to have the best player in the world, who is who's an international superstar. So they get a ton of money from international markets that other teams don't get. And they're like last year, their revenues were higher than the net worth of a couple owners in the league. It's a real inequity. Now, with that being said, like there are a ton of owners who they can't spend the same way as the Dodgers, but they can spend more than they have, and they just don't. So that's the problem with this conversation, because I do like the deck is stacked towards the Dodgers. They have advantages that a lot of other teams don't, but at the same time, those other teams don't really make the most of what they do have, and that leads us here.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. My thing is, you don't have to trade to the Dodgers. These teams are just giving up. Like, the fact there wasn't a big name involved in this trade that the Tigers were getting, it astonished me. Like, I just don't understand. There's been reports that other teams were interested. I mean, who wouldn't be interested in Skubal? He's one of the best pitchers in the game right now. It's just very, very frustrating.
So, allow me to go to the kitchen pantry, grab some tin foil, and make myself a little hat if I can. Because I thought the same thing to you. I said, if you're the Detroit Tigers, you are one of the teams that is leading the charge of we cannot spend like the Dodgers can. We just can't do it. Why on earth are you trading the Dodgers, your best player?
Yeah.
Like, at this point, I understand the whole, like, well, with the package, whatever. At some point, you have to be like, dude, you have every good player. We're not going to trade you our good player.
Yeah.
Unless the Detroit Tigers are doing whatever they can to ensure the Dodgers win a third straight, all of baseball revolts, more likely lockout, more likely salary cap.
I like your positive thinking. That would be wild if that is all part of this plan.
Yeah, but that's kind of that's my tinfoil hat take. Depending on who you ask, I think that there was a quote from a rival executive when they asked like how well did the Tigers do for Skubal? Like, obviously he's a massive piece. How well they do, and the rival executive said they got bupkis. I've also seen other people talk about how great of a haul this is. Depending on who you ask, obviously prospects are always finicky.
Yeah.
But let me tell you one thing. The absolute worst person you know right now is saying, oh, this is just prospects. Every team could have done this. It's just the Dodgers who didn't. That's the biggest load of crap in the world right now. It just is, because when looking at this objectively, first off, the obvious, the Dodgers are so loaded with talent because they're allowed to defer $1.1 billion in salary that they don't need prospects like other teams do, right? I mean, some of these guys, one of the guys that the Dodgers traded is a top 50 prospect who's almost 28 years old. That's if the Cubs had Mookie Betts, Shohei Ohtani, Freddie Freeman, Andy Pages, all these guys. And they're like, you know what? We don't need Pete Crow Armstrong. He can stay in the minors forever.
Yeah.
And he stays in the minors. He rakes. He gets a high prospect. And then you trade him for Screwball.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't need this prospect because they're allowed to have such a high payroll and have like an entire team of all-stars. So obviously they're going to have better prospects because they don't need their prospects to play on the major league team. Like, obviously. And then also, if you are like a team like, say, the Brewers, why would you package together your prospects to go and trade Screwball when, let's be honest, the Brewers with Screwball, Mizorowski and Screwball is obviously an insane 1-2 punch. In a best-of-7 series, do I think the Brewers will beat the Dodgers in this hypothetical world where they have Screwball? I don't. So if you don't think you're going to win, why are you going to trade him? Why are you trading your prospects for this? And then thirdly, Screwball literally said last week that he wants to play for the Dodgers. Why would a team unload prospects to bring in Screwball for him to then leave and go join the Dodgers in free agency? Because they're the team best equipped to sign the $500-600 million contract that he's gonna. So no, obviously no team is gonna do that. That's why he got traded to the Dodgers. So this whole any team could have traded the prospects.
Get something for him where he walks and signs with the Dodgers anyway.
Yeah, there's one team that he said he wanted to play for because they could pay his salary and they're already so nasty because they have a payroll of over $1 billion.
Yeah,
and that's the Dodgers. So it's all connected. This idea that they pay a lot of money, but any team could trade prospects. It's all crap.
Yeah. Oh, it's more because I've always had the impression like they're just nailing every prospect they draft, but it's a fact these guys do play in the minors because they're MLB.
Well, they're a very
good mix.
They're a very good organization. They have very good talent development.
Yeah,
but it's like a lot of teams have good talent development. It's just they rely on that talent to replenish their major league team because they can't shell out $1.1 billion in deferred contracts like the Dodgers can. So them developing talent really well, but also having so much money to get all these guys on the major league talent, a top 100, top 50, 100 prospect who's 28 years old can just continue to get better in the minors, and then they flip him for Screwball.
So you mentioned a lot about this. I mentioned the 1.1 billion deferred. Is that basically just pushing back their payments?
It's
so if they're such a loaded franchise money wise, why are they deferring?
Because this is where it gets
because this shit's confusing because you don't see it in any other other sport in America. I don't know about Champions League or anything.
So Ohtani's contract is a good one to reference because he signed a 7-year, $700 million contract. Or excuse me, 10-year, $700 million contract. So you're
better to ask a Mets fan. They know much about deferred payment.
Okay. The original deferred payment. Yes.
I had to.
Yes. Bobby Bonilla, yes. But it was a 10-year, $700 million contract. You're thinking, oh, okay, $70 million a year. No. So what he made this year, the check he's making from the Dodgers this year is $2 million.
Damn broke ass.
Yeah. $2 million counts towards their luxury tax. So they are paying taxes because they're above a certain threshold in salary, but only $2 million counts. And then in 10 years, when that contract's over, they're paying the deferred payments, which I don't have the number in front of me how far in advance they're deferred. So those payments are deferred later when the salary tax is higher, and then also just normal money. They instead of paying Ohtani, like if you're Ohtani, instead of paying you $70 million,
$70
I'm going to pay you $2 million. I'm going to take the other $68 million and either reinvest some of it in a Kyle Tucker or a Tarek Skubal, or
not bum.
and then I'm going to go put the other $20 million in a stock, a bond, and then that $20 million becomes $50 million, and then I can use that to pay my deferred payments.
Gotcha.
Like it's just like they take the extra money they're saving and either reinvest it in the team to get better players, or they invest it elsewhere, make more money, and then use it to pay.
Gotcha.
Then use it to pay their players. So
that $1 billion could be $20 billion. I think the last deferred payments in like 2044, 2043. So that could easily turn into like $25 billion.
And they can make money on that. Yeah, exactly. And that's why
interesting.
That's why they are so much better equipped because of the beginning capital to start with, as opposed to a team like Cleveland.
So why is that allowed?
$1 million question right there.
Interesting.
$1 million question.
Manfred, best commissioner in sports.
Yeah.
So obviously there's been talks of a lockout. I think this is kind of the catalyst because, do you think there's an actual chance of a salary cap? Because, I feel like every time we're heading into the MLB lockout, this is a conversation we've had the past, 20 years.
Yeah. If I had to bet on whether or not I think there will be a lockout next year, I think I would side no.
Interesting.
I don't think the players will ever go for it.
Yeah.
And I think...
why wouldn't you?
Right. And I think there is a compromise in the middle. Again, believe it or not, I do not work for MLB. I don't know the exact ins and outs of all that. But I think there may be something you can do with deferred money.
Yeah.
I think there's something you can do with revenue sharing. I think there's something you can do with maybe a mix of more intense salary cap penalties, and maybe some of that salary cap, more of that gets put into the revenue sharing pool.
Yeah.
And maybe there's a salary floor.
Yeah, I know we've talked about that in the past in regards to MLB. The revenue sharing is a very interesting topic because what all does that go into? Is it TV? Because like you said,
right,
you have very regional, we all know that LA's TV market is making however more than
Cleveland,
Milwaukee. Baltimore, Milwaukee. I mean, the only ones probably even close are New York and maybe Chicago, but
yeah,
that's the one hiccup I see. But that's because in regards to salary floor, some owners are going to give you the middle finger and be like, you can't make me do that.
Yeah, right.
Or,
owners aren't going to go for that. We're talking about players aren't going to go for the
players,
salary cap. Owners
someone's
going to
have to fold, and I just don't see that happening. But, yeah, very, very interesting. It seems the Dodgers are just like Thanos collecting the Infinity Stones.
They just...
I mean, I remember they got Kyle Tucker from the Cubs. And I was like, damn, they're going to be so good. And he's the one trade guy that hasn't really turned out all that great. But he doesn't have to be what he was on the Cubs because they're so damn loaded.
And that's the thing is that, they're a good organization. They have homegrown guys that are very good. They have prospects that are good and highly touted throughout the league. They're not they gave Tanner Scott a ton of money.
Yeah.
Who hasn't pitched much for them, and it certainly hasn't pitched well for them. They gave Edwin Diaz a ton of money. He got hurt. He had some weird gambling thing that was, seemed to have been pushed under the rug. But
sounds like Shay.
did I say that? Did you say that?
No,
I don't know who said that.
Who
But
said that?
but like, they also gave Kyle Tucker, who looks terrible. But it just doesn't matter.
Yeah,
that's how loaded they are, man. Like, it's in right now. And this is the crux of the problem. We can sit here all day and be like, there needs to be a salary floor. There needs to be a salary cap. There needs to be this. Deferrals, this. Like I said before, you and I, we do not work for MLB.
correct.
Our job is not to fix it. Our job is to watch and comment on it.
Yeah.
This sucks. I hate the fact that the sport that obviously means so much to me is stale because the same team, the rich get richer, the same team gets every good player, and we know who's going to win the World Series. What, in August? And like,
Yeah.
I'm going to watch the playoffs, obviously, but like, who's going to lose to the Dodgers? Like, I can't in baseball.
Like that in a 7-game series, that rotation of pitch starters is disgusting.
It's drunk, dude. Like,
and I'm not a diehard, y'all know this, but like even as a super casual MLB fan, I'm like, I at least know all these names, and that's saying something.
Yeah, the fifth or the sixth guy I named was Justin Robleski, who was an all-star.
Yeah,
This is insane, and I right now, as someone who cares about the future of the game, who cares about the influx of talent of American youth into baseball, how can you look at a little kid who lives in Des Moines, Iowa, in Milwaukee, in Salt Lake City, Utah? Well, I guess that may be close enough to L.A. where they can get that. But like, Little Rock, Arkansas.
Shout out.
Like, they have no connection to L.A. They don't connect with the city. They don't connect with the fan. Like, they have no ability to go watch a live game. If you're some kid in Milwaukee, how are you going to get interested in baseball when your team has literally zero chance because the Dodgers have the Infinity Stones?
Yeah.
I'm not, like, I know we just kind of litigated this a little bit, like, what would we do? But the fact of the matter is, I'm really not interested in arguing millionaire versus billionaire versus.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in defending anybody. What I'm interested in and what I care about is the fans. And this sucks. And MLB needs to find a way to fix it. I don't care if it's salary cap. I don't care if it's salary floor. I don't care if it's deferrals. I don't care if it's revenue sharing. I don't care about any of that. What I do care about is making the thing watchable. And right now, in each passing day, it is becoming less and less watchable because the Los Angeles Dodgers just do everything, get everybody, and win. That's it.
Yeah. Thank God for banana ball, am I right?
Yeah. Next year, this hat's going to be a firefighter's hat or
fire unis.
A party animals hat. Or
no pun. The
cocoa nuts.
No, that's fire.
Yeah.
That's fire.
That's it. But like, that's what is so frustrating to me. And with the Dodgers, like, I'm not necessarily mad at the Dodgers. I'm mad that the Dodgers are the beneficiary of a broken system.
Yeah.
I do think an organization's job at every point should be to win now and win in the future.
Yeah.
Like, do what's best for their team now and in the future, right? And that's what the Dodgers are doing. They're playing within the rules. I just think they're broken rules.
Yeah.
So I'm more mad at other teams and the league for allowing a broken system to benefit the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Dodgers are doing what they're doing to win, and that's what you should do.
A broken system.
Yes.
Absolutely. But
now, I hope they lose.
Big one tonight.
The Cubs won last night, right?
Yeah, Tariq Skubal starting tonight. We got Javier Assad on the mound.
Are we confirmed to be blacked out on that?
I'm not sure. We'll have to. I'll check it out. It's on TBS, so but it's on obviously marquee and whatever the LA one is.
It's
but
like Comcast LA or Sportsnet LA or some stupid.
yeah, so that was obviously the biggest domino. But speaking of kind of dominant teams, a team that is absolutely red hot just picked up a huge asset at the trade deadline, Adley Rutschman, from the Orioles. He was kind of a young up and coming star. He got traded for Anthony Eonson, Kyson Weatherspoon, Indy. Dang, they're giving me some tough names.
Yeah.
And Indy Oscar, Carlos Navarez, and a player to be named later for Adley Rutschman, Jake Rogers, and Cash. Talk to me about this one. Obviously, I've been hearing about this Adley Rutschman guy. Just tell me, like, what are the Red Sox getting in this guy?
The old PTNBL player to be named later. But this one, that Rutschman was the second biggest name moved, and the biggest name moved on deadline day. I was very surprised by this. Adley is a very talented player, catcher, great defensive catcher, switch hitter. He's just a good player. Like, he doesn't have elite power. He's a very good defensive catcher, but like he had a couple down years recently. Turned it back around this year. He's playing like the player we thought. But he is certainly an upgrade behind the dish for the Red Sox.
Yeah.
And it's one that they needed if they were to make a run at this thing, which good for them because they got red hot. And as we've mentioned a couple times, the American League is dog water, to put it lightly. So they're really going for it. Now, here's the thing is they gave up quite a bit.
Yeah.
It was a really good haul for the Orioles. I think that was everyone's kind of reaction too. Is it's like the Red Sox made an obvious upgrade, but wow, that was a big haul that Baltimore. And that's probably why they ended up saying yes anyway. But as a Orioles fans, were pretty sentimental about this because Rutschman was a number 1 overall draft pick.
Yeah.
He was the signal of the Orioles turnaround in like 2020. Was it 3? Maybe the Orioles had like the best record in the American League. And he was a big reason why it looked like he was going to be a star in this league. Couple down years, kind of, he had to work through those, which he did. And is having a good year again this year. So, like, it's an upgrade for the Red Sox, certainly. They gave up a lot to get him, but like you said, the American League is wide open. So I'm happy a team decided to nut up and say, screw this, we're going for it.
Yeah, absolutely. That seemed to be kind of the second biggest domino. I'm not gonna front. I have some trades written down. One being to the Cubs from the Blue Jays, Kevin Gossman. Talk to me about what. Obviously, the Cubs has a big lack of consistent pitching, I should say. Picked up Kevin Gossman. Talk to me about this guy, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's just another like really good, talented veteran pitcher. Last year, it was a big deal when he was traded, or when he went to Toronto from San Francisco. He had a really good run with the Giants. But last year with Toronto, he was kind of a key piece in their World Series run. He was a frontline starter, a guy they relied on. Ended the season with a 3.59 ERA, which the way Toronto hit the ball last year was plenty. Isn't pitching as well this year. Pitching to a little bit above 4 ERA, but like he's a vet. I mean, at this point, he's been in the league for 13 years. Like he knows how to pitch in Major League Baseball. Did it last year in high leverage situations. I think it's more of it wasn't all that high a price, and it's someone who, like I said, is a veteran, can pitch in high leverage, and they're hoping maybe the first half of the year was water will find its level, and he'll fall back to the.
So it sounds like it's just kind of a depth piece to the rotation.
That's the problem with the Cubs rotation, is that he immediately does get kind of put up as a frontline starter just because of the lack of arms and the lack of healthy arms. But again, he's been very productive recently, and this year not as much. And he does come with he did sign a big contract in Toronto, so he's a little he's making a lot of money. Maybe isn't as good as he was a couple years ago, but can still provide good value to a team that's really trying to make a run at this thing and is desperate for pitching.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
I liked the trade for the Cubs. I did.
Love that. Another trade the Cubs made was with your New York Mets. Cubs got Clay Holmes and Tyrone Taylor for Jefferson Rojas, who won the trade.
Like it's weird though, because like both teams got what they needed. Like
Yeah,
Clay Holmes, the problem with him is that he broke his leg in I don't know, May maybe, but he's set to be coming back. He is a lot like, funny enough, David Peterson, who you got from the Mets as well. Heavy sinker, change, sweeper, a lot of ground balls. The Cubs have the best defensive infield in baseball. I think he'll fit right into Wrigley Field. Obviously not depending on the way the wind's blowing, but again, loves to keep the ball on the ground, which means good things for the Cubs because their defensive infield is so good. And I think he's going to be a great starter for the Cubs. He was great for the Mets this year, and the Mets infield defense was putrid. So yeah, I think he'll be great. And then Tyrone Taylor is just like another he's a fourth outfielder. He's not going to be the guy who's going to slot in and hit 300. He's not necessarily known for his bat. He was really hot with the Mets right before the deadline, so maybe you capture some of that. But he's a fourth outfielder, and he is an elite defensive outfielder. So if you put him in a corner and you have PCA in center, it's going to be about as good of a defensive outfield as you're going to find. So
yeah.
And then Jefferson Rojas went to the Mets, immediately slotted in as their number one prospect. I believe he was the Cubs' number two prospect. Like, he's a top 100 guy. They gave up two pieces to get one prospect back, but he's a blue chip prospect. He's top 100. So the Mets needed a headliner. They got a lot of depth. They needed a headliner prospect. They got that from the Cubs, and the Cubs got a very good starting pitcher and a very good depth outfielder. So I was, when I saw this, I was very happy with the return the Mets got, and I do think Clay Holmes and Tyrone Taylor will be very good for the Cubs.
Yeah, absolutely. Any other trades you want to talk about specifically? Obviously, a lot of movement, but I think we touched on two of the bigger ones, plus kind of what the Cubs and the Mets kind of got into. But any other major ones you want to touch on?
Individual trades, I think another big one that's kind of flying under the radar, I think, because the acquiring team isn't necessarily – they're certainly not leading their division because they're in the same division as the Dodgers. But Casey Mize from the Tigers got traded to the Padres at the buzzer right before the deadline.
Yeah.
Very good, just a very good pitcher, former top prospect for the Tigers. I think he'll slot into the Padres really nicely. We're trying to make a run at this thing in the wild card. But I thought that was a good pickup. Not a ton of reliever movement. Certainly not high-end reliever movement. There were a few. The Cubs ended up with a reliever. The guy with the name was hard to say. What was his? Anyway, but I know the Mets traded away. Like, Luke Weaver went to the Pirates for Sammy Stafura, by the way, who went to Walter Panis High School, about 10 minutes away from the high school I went to.
Shout out.
So that's pretty cool. But yeah, man, not too crazy in the reliever market And the other one I expected more movement out of was the catcher market. A lot of teams could use catchers. Guys like Hunter Goodman with the Rockies, Ryan Jeffers with the Twins, Tyler Stevenson with the Reds. I thought those guys maybe could be on the move. All of them stayed put. The only catcher moved was Rushman.
Yeah.
Big haul, like we mentioned before. So maybe it was the price tags were too high for catchers. I don't know. But those were kind of some macro trends that I saw that left me. And yeah, for the Mets specifically, it was they traded away 9 players. They got, I think it was like 13 new prospects.
Yeah.
Including a new number 1 prospect, and nine of the 13 acquired slotted into their top 30. So
yeah, that's not bad.
Replenish the farm a little bit on a disastrous season. So
yeah, I was just about to ask you. So glad you touched on that. But to kind of wrap up this trade deadline talk, unless you have more to talk about, who comes out of the trade deadline as a winner and loser? Obviously, the Dodgers can be a winner, signing the biggest or trading for the biggest asset out there. But talk to me.
By the way, the Cubs reliever was Ryan Zefferjohn. Was the guy they were. But there were a couple that I wanted to highlight. A winner for me. To be honest with you, I think the Cubs are a winner. I think they got a couple of starters that can really help. Again, I keep going back to the Clay Holmes. I think the fit is perfect.
Yeah.
And then Holmes and Gausman is a 1-2, as opposed to Assad and Peterson as a 1-2 or any of those guys. Like I think it's a real upgrade. I really like what the Cardinals did. They traded away Dustin May to the Brewers, and they got a haul back for. I think the Brewers may have gone with a little bit of an overpay there, but I like what the Cardinals did, and a surprising Cardinals team that's playing much better than a lot of us thought. I like what the Twins did. They got a bullpen piece, Jeff Hoffman from the Blue Jays, and I'm just kind of happy the Twins are saying, screw this, the American League's wide open. Let's go for this thing. We're kind of in the mix than none of us expected to. Like, screw it, let's do it. So yeah, I think there are definitely some winners, some losers. I didn't like what the Brewers did. I mentioned their trade for Dustin May. I didn't really like what the Brewers did. The Yankees, I think Luis Garcia, who they got from the Nationals, is pretty good. But again, I expected a catcher. They didn't do that. I expected relievers. They didn't do that. They got Elio Ramos from the Giants, another depth outfielder piece. Okay, fine. The catcher and reliever's tough. So Yankees, I don't think were as bad as the Brewers because of the bats they got. But catcher reliever was the big spots, and they didn't address either of those. And then they helped it a little bit with the move for Mize, but the Tigers, man, I don't understand how you trade Skubal and then nobody else.
Yeah.
There is no reason Gleyber Torres should be on the Tigers right now. There's a lot of players on that team that I think they should have sold off, especially after making the statement they were selling Skubal, moving off that, and then all right, recoup these prospects. We're not going anywhere this year. But yeah, they ended up getting some back with Mize at the buzzer, so that helped. But I still think it should have been a complete and total sell off. And then obviously going back to the positive, I always like it when a team says screw this, we're going for it. So I'm gonna throw the Red Sox in there, even though they did give up a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. But anything else in regards to the trade deadline?
I don't think so, man. I love, obviously other sport trade deadlines are awesome, but just something about baseball. It feels like there's the highest volume.
Oh, yeah.
Just because you need pitching, you need fielding, you need bats. So I love the baseball trade deadline. I was, watching live streams all day, scrolling my phone on Twitter all day.
You'd be happy to know I had Jeff passing noties on
yes, let's go.
the past couple days.
Let's go, yeah.
Yeah.
But again, the deadline was great, but from fans everywhere except for Los Angeles, please fix the game. This is insane how this can continue to happen. It just can't. We have to do something.
Yeah. Yeah. Couldn't have said it better myself, but that's going to wrap up our MLB trade deadline. But any other topics you want to touch on in regards to the sports world? I got a couple, but
Hit me with them.
I think we've touched on it in the past, but we really need to study the downfall of ESPN because they have had some absolute stinkers this past week, kicking off with Monica McNutt.
Yeah, that's bad.
I assume it was Sports Center. I don't know exactly what show it was. Tunes in live from a nail salon.
Look, I know there's Monica McNutt has had some comments about the WNBA that we're going to stay far from.
Correct.
Far from.
Correct.
Monica McNutt got her start on MSG. She still works for MSG from here and there, and I've watched her cover the Knicks, and I've thought she did good work, largely. You just calling in to SportsCenter from a nail salon,
especially after the layoffs that
is really
legends
bad.
of ESPN. Yeah,
Karl Ravitch
yeah,
was put to the sword for this. Yeah, I really don't get it. I really don't.
yeah. It's bad.
It was a bad look, and I got pretty. I don't know. Again off the heels of the layoffs and someone who grew up on Baseball Tonight and Sunday Night Baseball with Karl Ravitch announcing the Little League World Series, College World Series, all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He's now gone, and they're doing
that.
Yeah,
that's
that
really
bothered me. That really bothered me. It did. It bothered me.
Yeah. And then I know you don't like this guy, but I wanted to shout about Aaron Rodgers on the Pat McAfee show yesterday. We're going to ignore the first part because we're a sports show, not the other topic show. But him just calling out ESPN to their biggest face on their network about the lack of coverage of the Diana Rossini and Mike Vrabel scandal made me laugh. Like, it was so good. That's one thing I think is funny about Rodgers. Does not give a damn.
No, he don't care.
He does not give a damn. I would hate to be on his PR team because it has to be a hell of a job. But I thought that was hilarious. So wanted to bring, but like, he was stating facts.
He was
Stating facts.
It's just, ESPN is something else. I don't even know how to say it anymore.
It like, I just don't. Obviously, like, I think social media has definitely taken away from it, but people don't, at least for my sake, and I think a lot of people would agree with the statement, is the people that were discussing the sports during a sports segment, during like the NBA segments, NHL even, they actually loved the sport. They were fans first, analysts second. And now it's just like getting personalities, which is good, don't get me wrong, but how many ESPN segments just turn into a screaming match? Like, I don't know. Just I don't know.
Yeah, and I think the best way I can put it is when when you're a kid, you turn on SportsCenter, you'll see every single sport ever. They'll go from the NBA free agency signing to the biggest home run in baseball that night, then jump directly to what the new coach of Michigan had to say in their press conference. Like, they did it all. I think there's one sport right now, one, One sport where when I think of coverage of that sport and who does it the best, who has the biggest games, who does it, I think of ESPN. And that's college football.
Yeah.
That's the only sport.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, college football is elite.
They do
When
college
they
football well.
But is that because of ESPN? Or is it back to my original point? They're just dudes that love the game of college football, you know?
That's the thing is the guys are still there.
Mm-hmm.
Reese Davis, Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit, all those guys, the main core of Desmond Howard, who like obviously has things with Michigan, but like he's been on game day for as long as I can remember, and I enjoy watching him on game day. The core is still there, and it has the weird dynamic where I think the embodiment of ESPN's incompetence is putting so many eggs in Pat McAfee's basket, and he's great in college football.
Love him on game day.
But not so much in other stuff. So
yeah,
if one of the biggest negatives I have to say about your channel is good in college football, I'm obviously going to be like, yeah, it's great. But like college basketball, I think of CBS with March Madness and all that stuff.
Course.
NBA, I mean, I guess not TNT anymore, but like NBC now and like shit, I miss Amazon Prime. There's so many.
Yeah,
like, I don't think of ESPN and with any of that. And like obviously baseball, they've completely lost baseball.
yeah.
NFL, they have one game a week, while Fox and CBS and all that. Just they've completely nosedove, and they have no one to blame but themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. But anything else in the sports world, man?
I don't think so. I think we covered the gist of it this week.
Yeah. So should we head into the Give Me Five?
Let's do it.
Before we reveal the topic, I do want to shout you out again. You won again.
Oh boy, don't let me get hot now.
Yeah. Seeing who voted, I see why you won, but 60-40 regardless, you won in fictional places you'd like to visit. This week, though, we have things that made you rich as a kid.
Now, how do we want to do it? Because I believe
I
had the
you
first pick.
host?
I think you hosted last time, so I got the first pick.
Okay, I'll gladly take first pick.
Which there's an obvious first pick. So, but I feel like we got to be fair.
About that.
I feel like we got to be fair.
Okay, I'm gonna go with my first pick. I'm gonna go with. I'm curious if this was what you thought. I'm going to go having a pool.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yep.
Absolutely was. Yeah, I mean, obviously it was always the hangout.
Yeah, 100%.
Now where do I go from here? I'm going to go with the other thing that you see in a yard and you're like, and you're immediately just like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have so much fun. Trampoline.
Yep.
Gotta
Had
be the
that on my
trampoline.
list. Had that on my list for sure.
Gotta be the trampoline. Now, what do I go with? I'm going to stick with outside stuff. The full basketball court.
Yeah.
The full basketball court. There were a few friends who had that, and that was, I mean, shooting hoops in the driveway on a normal, and then shooting hoops in like the backyard where they have a full basketball court. Even if it's like concrete and it's a full basketball, it's insane the difference.
Oh, yeah.
Shooting on a full basketball court was the best thing ever. I'm going with that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great pick. For my next pick, I'm going to go a little different route. I'm going to go DVD player in the car. If you had that, you were the cat daddy. Whether it was the one screen above like the passenger seat, or if each passenger seat had their own screen, that was the bee's knees, as they say. So that is my second pick. For my third one, I'm gonna go with if they had a great snack selection.
Yeah, of course. Had to have that on.
Yep.
All the good snacks for sure. With my third pick, I'm going to go with... I'm going to the car as well. I'm going when the parents had a convertible.
Oh, that's a good one. Didn't have that on my list.
Anytime you could hop in with the top down. You were driving, but the top was down. The wind was, it was the best. It was the best. And everyone knows convertible equals expensive, which sometimes is true.
Yeah.
Most of the time it's true.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go like that. And then my last one, or not my last one is turn. Got to be the new video game consoles.
Yep, had that on my
Always
list.
had the new one.
Had that on my list for sure. Yep. I mean, if your boy had like, especially the Wii, I think is what my brain get like when someone had the Wii. Dude, let's run Wii Sports for hours.
Because it was different, right? Because I feel like most people were either Xbox or PlayStation. You had an Xbox 360 and a PS2 or PS3. And, like, the games were pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Like, you had some exclusives, obviously, but the games were pretty much the same. You could play whatever. Wii was the different one, man.
Yeah.
That was the one where you had all the exclusives with Nintendo and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, Wii was elite. Oh, man. I'm going to do it. If you had a country club membership. If you had a country club membership, you were
big
the
time.
shit. You were the shit. Just money was like going to the pool, getting snacks, just charging it to the account. I mean, that was the biggest indicator. And for my last one, oh man. There's a couple different routes I could go.
I'm debating between two for my final one.
I'm gonna go with one. If you had an iPhone,
Yeah.
if you had an iPhone, as a kid, you were the big man in the class.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm gonna go an iPhone. And your last pick?
Okay, I think I'm gonna go. If you had a TV in the bedroom,
TV
in your room,
TV, of course,
TV in your room, which obviously now, obviously the price of TVs is a whole other conversation, but and also with stream, like as long as you got Wi-Fi. But when you were a kid, TV was more expensive. It certainly was relative to your income, and then you had to pay for the extra box.
Yeah,
and the extra cables and all. Like now, you can just stick one in and have Wi-Fi, and you're good. But it was significantly more of a headache to have one when
if
we
it
were
was
kids.
like a flat screen TV, dude. I mean, flat screen TVs in general, you were the
Remember, like the ones with like the huge base.
If your buddy had a flat screen TV where his video game console was, you were living life.
Yeah, you had your plans for the next 2 days.
Yeah.
Set.
Oh yeah. Absolutely shredding on Guitar Hero. Before we move on to some honorable mentions.
Yeah. So my 5 are: you had a trampoline, you had a full basketball court, your parents drove a convertible, you had the newest video game consoles, and you had the TV in the bedroom.
Yep, absolutely. Mine were having a pool, DVD player in the car, a great snack selection, a country club membership, and an iPhone. Let's run through some honorable mentions. What you got?
Yeah, I think the one I was debating between TV in the room or this one, a projector.
I had that on
A
mine.
projector.
Yeah.
It doesn't even necessarily need to be like a home theater. It's just something because I played video games on a projector before. I've watched games on I thought a projector was so sick. Was so sick, dude.
Yeah.
So I had that, and then we had a lot of similar ones here. I think the only one that you didn't take that was left on my honorable mentions was I was kind of deciding which one to go. It was like you ever had you have a friend who had like motor vehicles, like sometimes it was a go-kart or maybe it was like a quad or like an ATV. I think I wrote down go-kart because I think that was like the most, but like where you just go in the street and just start revving it up.
Absolutely.
That was a ton of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Some of mine, this kind of played into your full basketball court, but it was kind of the first one I thought of was an in-ground basketball hoop.
Oh, sure, yeah.
If your parents...
You didn't have the bags of sand.
Yeah. I had that. Bunk beds. I mean,
More
bunk
reflective
beds were
piece.
sick. Bunk beds were the coolest. A boat.
Yeah, about
Nike Elite socks. Beats headphones.
Oh, that's a good one, yeah.
Multiple Lego sets. And this one is just honestly a nostalgic pull. If you had a Club Penguin membership.
Oh, that's a really good one.
Dude.
Yeah, you had different color puffins.
Furniture. You were the shit.
You were dripped out. Yeah.
Yes, dude.
You were dripped
You weren't
out.
just a boring color.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one. That's a really good one.
Yeah. I mean, perks of being a 2000 kid for sure. But anything else on episode 227, Tanner?
No, man. I think we hit it all. So this was a really fun Give Me Five to do. Thinking
very
through it.
nostalgic for sure.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But I just again, Manfred, fix the game, please,
Yes.
please.
And I believe we do get the Cubs game, so excited for that watch. But that's going to wrap it up for episode 227, obviously dominated by the MLB trade deadline, surrounded by...
I also want to say one more thing. Tyrone Taylor was he was such an awesome guy. Like, he gave everything, every game. One of my favorite. I was obviously happy with the return, but sad we traded him away. I will be rooting for the Cubs for Tyrone Taylor.
Let's go. So obviously the biggest domino of the trade deadline was Tariq Skubal. Skubal? Who cares? But also some other trades, including the Mets, Cubs, who won, who lost. And we talked a little bit about the downfall of ESPN and, of course, wrapped up with the Gimme 5 of things that made you rich as a kid. You can follow the podcast on X, Instagram, and TikTok, crunchtime_pod. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell on YouTube. Crunch Time with the N326 duo. But the clock has run out on this one, but we'll see you on the next one on Crunch Time.
I'll see you.